Good morning, YouTube. Today is Friday, July 12th. It's just a Friday, boys. A good
It's just a
old
Friday.
happy Friday. You know what it is? It's a Friday of 11 straight days of mortgage rates moving in the right direction. I don't think we've had 11 straight days of positive mortgage rates all year. So,
No, God bless the great USA.
God bless it. It looks like all these numbers are starting to come together. The job market is so bad, so weak right now that now even the Fed is saying that is maybe a bigger threat to the economy than inflation. We're trying to get inflation down, but as soon as it comes down, another package is sent over to Ukraine. So who the heck knows what's going to happen there?
You mean Putin?
What?
You mean Putin?
Zelensky? Putin? Zelensky Putin? I don't know. I don't know what his name is, Tom. I think any able-bodied human would know what their name is, but we won't go there. But it looks like still September is the time. The Fed and everyone is still kind of planning to maybe have our first rate cut of 2024 and hopefully pave the way for some positivity in 2025. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tom, Anth,
I think I agree, actually. Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're setting everything up over the last, everybody knows what's been going on with the election over the last 12, 14 days. And then the rates have magically gone the other way. And it almost seems that they're changing up their perspective on these numbers that they were rolling out even last month with the labor markets and things of that nature. So it finally is moving in the right direction. And I do see, that rate cut coming with how bad the labor market is right now. So that's going to definitely create some positivity for our mortgage rates. And I do think there is going to be some cuts. I read an article, I forget who wrote the article earlier this week, but they're expecting 200 basis points on a cut over the next year. So, that's great for home buyers.
I'm no longer going to listen to the Fed, and Anth, I'll let you go after this, on year-long predictions because last December we were supposed to have 6 rate cuts this year.
No, fair enough. But yeah, I finally think that they're reporting accurate numbers.
Okay. Anth, what you say?
I don't think we're going to see it. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see it until maybe the end of the year, maybe the first meeting of the year next year. Yeah, it's my prediction.
I think it's a good prediction, though, Anth. That's solid because it could go that way, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
They might have the convention rate cut right after, things like that.
Hey, my biggest thing is yesterday I was pricing some regular conventional rates and we were back to 6.5 with an APR of like 6.72. So seeing some 6.5 on a base regular conventional loan, it's not 7.5. So, hey, I'll be positive today. What can I say?
100%. No, they been trending in the right direction. So this is all great for people that live in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And are dealing with buying a home.
So if you're still on the fence, keep your ear to Amchatter from here to the end of the year to see where these rates are heading. But right now, all of the news we're hearing, the trends we're seeing, it's the most positivity I've seen about interest rates literally all year. So that's good news, and we'll keep an eye on that. Moving into our topic today, it's really these pesky condos, man. Ever since, heck, I don't know how many years it's been now. Ever since that condo collapse in the Miami area years ago, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae came and they made it more difficult, right? They made it more difficult to buy a condo because they want to make sure no more condos collapse. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're buying in the Mews in the North Hills and it has nothing to do with a high-rise condo, there's still guidelines now for any deferred maintenance, any too many owners owning one person owning too many units. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have something called a warrantable condo. For them to allow financing, they have to deem it warrantable. If it's not warrantable, Tom, it's
non-warrantable.
Non-warrantable, that's bad. That's really going to limit your financing. West Penn Financial, we're case by case on non-warrantable condos. Anth, let's get into this. You're the senior loan officer here. If we tell agents a lot of time, hey, it's a non-warrantable condo, we get it's okay. What do we got to do next? And we got to really hammer this out that if you're a listing agent, you have to figure out what you're listing and if that condo is warrantable or not, and what kind of financing you're going to have to accept in an offer.
Yeah, I mean, the questionnaire is going to be very important. And that basically lets the lender know everything about the property on the association side. So getting that done in advance is going to really help the lender actually process and approve that specific condo based on that information. Without it, we don't have all the data. So the unfortunate part is we don't get that, or we can't get that until so far into the transaction. And then if there's a delay, everybody's in an uproar. Well, if you're listing a property, it's part of the sale. So it'd be great if you'd be able to the agent side on the listing could just get that up front. So it's already done. And that paves the way for a smoother transaction. Or if there's issues, we know them in the beginning instead of at the end.
Valid. And the misconception is if you hear non-warrantable, you think, oh, well, the buildings aren't falling down. It has nothing to do in a lot of cases with the overall community. It has something to do with, I don't know, Tom, maybe the developer owns more than X amount, 10% of the units, maybe more than 30 or 40% of the units are rented. Like there's things that you're not going to be able to see by
there might be a salon in the bottom with a couple post office and other things, and it's too much commercial space for it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different factors that could play into that. And it's hard for us to know because we're not capable and able to get to every house here that we're putting in offers on as the loan officer. So we are relying on our real estate partners to know that it's a condo and to get that paper done. That's their job to ask the listing agent, or if they are the listing agent, they need to fill it out themselves and have the HOA president do it.
Yeah, because the thing is, we can't make a list. We get this all the time, right? Hey, can you just give us a master list of what's warrantable and not? The problem with that is a condo can become non-warrantable overnight because maybe there's deferred maintenance. Maybe someone else now rented a unit and now it puts them over the rental threshold. There's things that can happen overnight that just because we were able to close the loan 6 months ago and it was a warrantable complex doesn't mean it's not non-warrantable today. And just like Anth said, if it's left up to the lender, we have to do all that work during the processing. That doesn't happen overnight. That's going to take a few days. If the HOA isn't responsive, it may take a couple weeks. And now we're getting right before closing and we have an HOA problem because the listing agent didn't know what they were listing or didn't let everyone know, hey, my seller had a tough time buying this 10 years ago. We might need to look into financing and what happened there.
100%. It's on you as the listing agent to make sure that this condo is warrantable or non-warrantable. Us as loan officers will work with you to help figure that out. But it is the listing agent's job to let everybody in the party know if it is a warrantable or non-warrantable condo.
Yeah. And sometimes the HOA say it's going to cost money to get things. I don't know what to say other than there is a cost to doing business in some cases. But if you leave it up to getting it done during the processing of the loan, if the deal falls apart right before closing, can't blame the lender on that one. We're just trying to collect the information. So that's all I got to say there.
Well put.
But yes, so it seems like in the Pittsburgh area, we're getting more and more non-warrantable condos. So if there is an association, a lot of times the lender has to make sure that they're up to the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines.
Yeah. One of the things that I've been hearing too is there's a reserve requirement for these condos. And with the prices of everything going up right now, they're a little bit they're lagging behind on what they are asking for their HOA fee. So they're, in some cases, financially, these condos are not able to sustain or figure out their reserves for the upcoming years. So that could also run into a problem. Say they need to put on a new roof and it cost $10,000 more than they thought. That could very much put them in jeopardy because they had to use their reserve funds and there may not be enough in there.
Yep. And we're talking about a lot of first-time home buyers being in the market right now. If their minimum down payment and now it becomes non-warrantable, I mean, the biggest part of that, not only in the financing, is the down payment change. You can't go minimum down on a non-warrantable condo.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3% down. They're 3% down. Could quickly go to 20 or 25%. Real quick once we find that out, which could be a dead stick at that point if they don't have the funds. Right.
Plus, you're talking higher interest rate, harder to find financing. It is definitely more difficult to buy and sell a non-warrantable condo, and that's why we want to keep talking about it, because it's coming up more and more in the process. And we don't like anyone working their butts off through a transaction to find out we can't complete the financing, and that may have been something that could have been decided way earlier in the process.
100%.
That's all I have today, boys. We went a little long. Happy Friday. Give us a call if you need any updates on interest rates, because they are falling. And we will see everyone Tuesday.
Later, boys.
See ya.
See you guys.